Match number 66, KKR versus LSG, coming to an end finally. What a game it was. This match literally had fans from both sides at the edge of their seats, almost on the verge of collapsing. Don't know about the players, but I'll ask my panelists today who have joined. This is the post-match analysis show, and I have with me Nishant Arora and Devashish Sen. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. रीमा मैम, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका. बिल्कुल सही वक्त पे आई हैं आप. सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सबसे पूछ लूं, सांस अभी भी है, इंटैक्ट है? ये जो रिजल्ट आखिर तक जा रहा था,
मुझे लगता
क्या
है
हालत है?
देवाशीष और जॉयदीप आएंगे शो में. जॉयदीप तो मैच का मजा ले रहे हैं, बट देवाशीष आ गए.
देवाशीष तो बहुत खुश है. देवाशीष तो बहुत खुश है.
खुशी आज बनती है. मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा कैसे
सांसें अटकी हुई थी आखिर तक.
देवाशीष तो बहुत खुश है.
था केकेआर में, लेकिन जाते जाते दिखाया है.
ये है केकेआर की फाइटिंग स्पिरिट. चलिए आते हैं अब गेम पे, बात करते हैं इस गेम की थोड़ी डिटेल्स में. पहले बात करेंगे विनिंग टीम की. रीमा मैम, सबसे पहले आपसे शुरुआत करेंगे. क्या ख्याल है एलएसजी के इस जीत के बारे में? आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? ये जो जीता उन्होंने और आखिरकार अपना टॉप 2 पोजीशन उन्होंने फाइनलाइज कर लिया, आपकी राय?
देखिए, डिजर्व करती थी ये टीम. जिस तरीके से शुरुआत की थी इस टूर्नामेंट में, जिस तरीके से ऑक्शन में इन्होंने अपना होमवर्क किया था, केएल राहुल की कैप्टनसी, आपने डिकॉक का जो बाय किया था, जो मुंबई इंडियंस से बहुत बड़ी गलती हुई कि उन्होंने ऐसे मैच विनर को छोड़ा. उसके बाद एक अच्छा बाय था वहाँ पे उनका. उसके बाद मोशीन खान को जिस तरह से यूज़ किया, सिर्फ एक अभी भी कमी नज़र आ रही है कि किस तरह से स्टॉइनिस को वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं. अदरवाइज इनके सारे खाने टेके हैं. और जिस तरह से गौतम गंभीर ने टीम का एटमॉस्फेयर बना के रखा हुआ है, बाकी कोचेस के साथ भी मैं पूरे मैनेजमेंट को श्रेय दूंगी, क्योंकि टफ सिचुएशन में टीम 2 मैच हारने के बाद आज जीती है. बैटिंग में तो मतलब मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए राहुल को भूल गई थी कि वो बैटिंग कर रहे हैं. डिकॉक ने जो आज बैटिंग डिस्प्ले किया, आई मीन एक भी विकेट उन्होंने नहीं खोया. ऐसा लग रहा था विकेट में कुछ है ही नहीं, जिस तरह से उन्होंने शॉट्स खेले. और उसके बाद बॉलिंग में मैच लग रहा था कि केकेआर जीतेगा, फिर एलएसजी जीतेगा, फिर केकेआर के पास गया, फिर एलएसजी के बाद लास्ट तीनों में जिस तरह से रिंकू सिंह और नारायण ने वापसी कराने की कोशिश की. आई मीन क्रिकेट एंजॉय किया, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. चाहे आज केकेआर जीता, चाहे एलएसजी जीता हो, लेकिन क्रिकेट के मजे आ गए. ये क्वालिटी क्रिकेट देखने को मिला, इसलिए आईपीएल को ना बेस्ट लीग कहते हैं इन द वर्ल्ड.
बिल्कुल सही कहा. आज क्रिकेट की जीत हुई है. चाहे कोई भी जीते, विन एंड लॉस, पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ गेम्स, बट इट इज क्रिकेट हु हैज वन. Nishant sir, I'll come to you. Let's start with dissecting Lucknow's batting. Well, not much to talk about because it was only 2 people from Lucknow who had come to bat, it seemed. The rest of the team perhaps could just spend the time taking a spin around town, having fun. It was only Quinton de Kock and KL Rahul blasting off KKR's bowling. Your thoughts?
I think before we give credit to the batters of both the team, the real man of the match actually of this match are the groundsmen. Just imagine कि कितना क्रिकेट हो रहा है डीवाई पर, मतलब 4 स्टेडियम्स में पूरा टूर्नामेंट हो रहा है. This is the fag end of the tournament and it's a very very hot summer, and towards the end you produce a wicket that holds its own, and almost 418 runs are scored in 40 overs, is a tribute to the people who are not seen, who allow a stage like this where these artists can come and perform. And now we will come to Quinton de Kock. I just look at the impact of this innings. Like Reema said, that it is very difficult to in any given situation. KL Rahul is probably one of the best batters in the world. Like he would come into the top 10 batters in the world, but he was a spectator. He got those 140 runs in 70 balls. उसमें 10 चौके हैं, 10 छक्के हैं, यानी 100 रन तो खाली उन्होंने चौके छक्कों से बना दिए। बाकी बचे 40 रन जो दौड़ भाग के, वो भी 20 बॉलों में पूरे किए, 30 बॉलों में। तो आप इमेजिन करो उस इनिंग का इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा। इमेजिन, सॉरी, 50 बॉलों में 40 रन बनाए सिंगल्स वाले, और बाकी 20 बॉलों में सारे रन बना दिए। सो द शेयर हिटिंग एबिलिटी। और इससे एक बात फिर और प्रूव होती है कि समटाइम्स we give lot of emphasis on T20 players and all that. Quinton de Kock's batting doesn't have that hint of muscle. It's all timing. It's all proper cricketing shots. That's the case with KL Rahul as well. Even Virat Kohli at his prime is that kind of a player. It just shows outstanding innings. It was a terrible day for the bowlers from both the sides. Like 200 runs scored for almost, I don't know why KKR would be feeling, why we have lost this game. Like that freakish catch on the fifth ball of the 19th over, and things turned around. It was like LSG was supposed to win today. It was like that kind of a day. It would have been really bad that Quinton de Kock would have played one of the most iconic innings of the IPL history and still ended up on the losing side. So I think he richly deserves this. Lucknow Super Giants, the new babies of IPL, how they have arrived. All these two kids, the Gujarat Titans and Lucknow Super Giants. Like, it's amazing. It's a great story, actually.
True, absolutely true. And Devashi sir, I would like you to elaborate on this point a bit. I'll just add to it that Quinton de Kock and KL Rahul's partnership today hit the record books of IPL to be one of the best opening partnerships ever in IPL history. Everybody has Quinton de Kock's innings on their mouths right now, that being the hot topic of discussion. But I'll request you to enlighten us on KL Rahul's performance. Before this match, KL Rahul's form was a bit of a worry for LSG. And then KL Rahul today gives that supporting knock to Quinton de Kock, 68 not out of 51 deliveries. And also, he becomes the first player in IPL history to score 500 runs in 5 consecutive seasons. How good is KL Rahul?
That speaks volumes of his consistency as a batter. And to be scoring 500 plus runs in 5 consecutive seasons is tremendous. And he has led from the front. Means two IPL newbies in the final, in their maiden season. That's what more you want for. And I just feel for Abhijit Tomar, the catch that he dropped of Quinton de Kock, that was pretty easy. That should have been taken on any day. 9 out of 10 times that should have been taken. Poor chap. I don't know what must be going through his mind now. Once Quinton de Kock was on his way to that splendid knock, but what a fabulous knock, and such kind of emotions and celebrations. I have never watched Quinton de Kock celebrating in that manner. It is more, you see such kind of celebrations in an international match. To be celebrated in the manner, in a way, means to kneeling down on the wicket and kissing the turf, and his wife and newborn infant were at the stands. So it was unbelievable from Quinton de Kock, and barring that chance, it was an exceptional chanceless knock by both Kale and Quinton de Kock. Means it was just tremendous, to sum it up.
Correctly put. And रीमा मैम, अब आप पे आऊंगी. जिस मौजू पे बहुत ज़्यादा बात करनी चाहिए वो है केकेआर की बॉलिंग. शायद आज का मैच बहुत ही वो रेयर मैच था जहां पे केकेआर की बैटिंग केकेआर की बॉलिंग से ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा अच्छी दिखी. जैसे जयदीप सर हमेशा कहते हैं ना कि केकेआर को बैटिंग, एंड माय गुडनेस जयदीप सर, जस्ट इन टाइम वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट यू एंड हियर यू आर. What timing?
I've been listening to you all for the past 5 minutes. I spoke to Nishan, I spoke to Devashish. For some reason, I was backstage, but I heard what all of you said, and I completely agree.
तो हाँ, जैसे कि रीमा मैम, केकेआर की चलिए, हाँ, देवाशीष सर ने सही कहा कि वो जो क्विंटन डे कॉक का जो कैच उनसे ड्रॉप हुआ था, उसके बाद जो क्विंटन डे कॉक में जो पता नहीं क्या जोश आ गया कि एकदम टूट पड़े वो केकेआर के बॉलर्स पे। तो आप क्या कहेंगी यहाँ पे कि एक ठीक है कैच ड्रॉप हुआ था, लेकिन क्या केकेआर के बॉलर्स अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट नहीं कर पाते? जिस टाइप की टैलेंट है केकेआर के पास, उनकी जो बॉलिंग डिपार्टमेंट है, आप देखिए, नाम देखिए जरा, उमेश यादव जो केकेआर के मतलब पावर प्ले के स्पेशलिस्ट जाने जा रहे थे इस आईपीएल में, टिम साउदी, नारायण, चक्रवर्ती, रसल, कोई भी नहीं एक अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट कर पाया। क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप इस बारे में?
देखिए, इसमें आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट कि वाकई में कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट नहीं कर पाया, कोई ऐसा आउटस्टैंडिंग स्पेल देखने को मिला, लेकिन सामने जो बैटिंग हुई ना वो आउटस्टैंडिंग हुई है। कई बार ऐसी क्लास बैटिंग होती है, चांसलेस बैटिंग होती है, एक चांस जरूर मिला था लेकिन उसके बाद उन्होंने कोई वापस मौका नहीं दिया। वो क्लीन हिटिंग नजर आई यार, क्रिकेट नजर आए। और आज मुझे लगता है दिन नहीं था, और ऐसा कई बार होता है, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना बैटिंग लाइनअप कोलैप्स होती है, उसी तरह से आज बॉलिंग लाइनअप में भी कुछ कोई चांस नहीं कर पाया। शायद दोनों बार से ना बना नहीं। हम हमेशा कहते हैं बॉलिंग इन पार्टनरशिप, बैटिंग इन पार्टनरशिप, तो वहां पे ना अगर शायद दोनों एंड से एक बनता तो क्रिकेट की अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करते, अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करवाई जाती है, वो नहीं हुई यहाँ पे। क्योंकि दूसरी तरफ आप एलएसजी के बॉलर्स को देखिए, हालांकि स्कोरबोर्ड प्रेशर डेफिनेटली था, वो एडवांटेज थी एलएसजी के पास, लेकिन कुछ खासा आज केकेआर के बॉलर्स कर नहीं पाए। लेकिन मैं फिर भी कहूंगी, मैं उनको ब्लेम करने से ज्यादा आज मैं तारीफ करूंगी बैटिंग की। जिस तरह से आज केएल राहुल और क्विंटन डी कॉक एक मकसद से आए थे, एक प्लानिंग से आए थे, और एग्जीक्यूशन उससे भी बेटर था।
जी बिल्कुल। Joydeep sir, as Rima ma'am highlighted, KKR's bowling was contrary to your opinions that KKR's bowling is their strength compared to their batting. Today's match would be very rare to say that KKR's batting stood out for as against KKR's bowling. But I've now request you to reflect on KKR's fielding. Didn't you find KKR's fielders extremely lethargic in their approach in chasing the balls or to stop them as they were being tonked by LSG?
No, I still stand by the fact that the KKR bowling is very good, and one bad day doesn't make up for it. Because when you talk about a team, you talk about it by and large. You don't talk about one day. This was a freakish day where 20 overs, not one wicket fell. So you won't find these sort of days too often in any brand of cricket. No, even if one very strong team and a very weak team plays, even then this doesn't happen. So this is a one-off, and this should not be an example. This is really out of the box. Number one. Number two, yeah, sometimes on TV you cannot make out the intensity of the shots. When you're in the ground, when it's past you, sometimes it feels like, oh, he's not running enough for it, but he as a fielder knows that it's beyond him. We as players know which ball we could get to and which ball we couldn't. And sometimes, Rima ma'am, if the ball is past her and gone, then she knows she will not get to it. But when she can get to it, she'll go all out. तो वो एक सेंस होता है प्लेयर लोग का। तो कभी कभी लगता है कि एक बार बॉल निकल गया, ये ट्राई नहीं कर रहे, वो ट्राई कर, उनको पता है कि ट्राई करने से पहुंचेंगे नहीं। बट इन टीवी बिकॉज ऑफ द एंगल्स इट लुक्स लाइक पास था, लेकिन एक्चुअली पास नहीं होता है। लिसन, I can't imagine anybody being lethargic in this game. One team had to be in the top two. The other team is playing for their future. They could somehow sneak in. Today, if KKR had won, net run rate improving, you never know what happens. So you cannot tell anybody can be lethargic. But in this, I would like to say, I know LSG was superb. But if they lost this game, they would re-look at KL Rahul 68 or 51. I thought they were 20 runs short. The way they were doing it, with one guy 200, the other guy cannot be 133. I'm the biggest fan of KL. When you've got 10 wickets in hand, then in the last 3 or 4, you got to be even more. I know he tried, it didn't happen. The strike went to De Kock. I watched every ball. But all I'm saying here is that for some reason, I was thinking, no wickets down. They've taken the bowlers to the cleaners. 210 we've often seen for 6, for 7. But when you're 210 for no loss, that could have been 20 runs more. Then it's out of reach. 210 has been chased. 230, 240 have not been chased too often.
This is a very strong point put out by you, because as you correctly said, that without the loss of any wickets, putting up just, we could use the term just, for 210 runs is not that handsome as it turns out to be, because 211, 210 have been scored by multiple teams and have been chased as well. So
No,
brilliantly put
200,
out by you.
210 is a lot of
Sir,
runs. But all I'm saying is
sir,
because we had 10 wickets in hand, I thought
exactly, sir.
if some guy would have come and got a 10 ball 25, this would have been 235,
Sir.
240. And sometimes
Yes,
when
sir.
you're batting, it doesn't happen for you also. You can't hit it like when you can't match your partner. There are times when Quinton de Kock will not be able to match KL Rahul also. It's your day. Everything is in the middle of the bat. Everything is in sync. But I'm just saying, I felt they were still 10, 15, 20 runs short because they could have even. They were going at 10 runs and over. So you could think about going at 13 runs and over then, because you got 10 wickets in and 7 overs to go.
Talking about
Brilliantly put up,
I
sir.
just wanted to add one thing. You know, we have been talking about how KKR couldn't get a single wicket. I think one of the biggest reasons, if you like really dissect it, is that their two biggest wicket takers in this tournament so far has been Team Saudi and Andrew Russell. And they had a terrible day. Like if you look at Saudi spell 4 over 57 runs, Russell is 3 overs 45 runs. So that's like two bowlers giving away almost 110 runs. I think that because they have been taking wickets. If you look at that, one of them has 17 wickets and one of them has 16 wickets, something like that so far in the tournament. So I think if they could not create those wicket taking opportunities, uh, like Rima said, sometimes you have to admire the innings as well. But at the same time, there has to be like if you look at very minutely, I think those two, if one of them could have produced a spell or something like that, it could have changed things. But I think that didn't happen.
वेरी ट्रू। रीमा मैम, केकेआर के बैटिंग पे जाने से पहले एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे केकेआर के बॉलिंग पे। वो था कि क्विंटन de Kock तो पूरी तरह से हावी हो गए थे केकेआर के बॉलर्स पे, लेकिन वो जो वरुण चक्रवर्ती ने नो बॉल डाली थी क्विंटन de Kock, और उसके हालांकि क्या होता है कि नो बॉल डलता है तो जान लेते हैं कि बैट्समैन तो जरूर चौका या छक्का जड़ेगा, लेकिन जो वरुण चक्रवर्ती ने जो वो एक अनोखी सी डिलीवरी डाली, क्विंटन de Kock खुद बहुत चक्के हो गए थे। उस डिलीवरी को आप थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर देंगी?
देखिए, कई बार आप डालते नहीं, डल जाती है, और एक डिलीवरी के पे हम क्या बोलें कि क्या पर्पसली डाली थी, क्या उन्होंने पर्पसली कोई सोचा था? ऐसा होता नहीं है, क्योंकि आप एक गेम प्लान के साथ आते हैं, एक डिलीवरी के प्लान के साथ आते हैं। लेकिन मुझे आज थोड़े से जब उनकी पिटाई हो रही थी सारे बॉलर्स की, थोड़े मुझे क्लूलेस नजर आए थे। उसमें मैं जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि आपने शायद कोई प्लान बी ट्राई नहीं किया। बैटिंग अच्छी हो रही थी, हम सबने एंजॉय किया, लेकिन सारे बॉलर जब एक साथ फ्लॉप हुए ना, यानी कि जब आपकी पिटाई होती है ना, तो आप वो प्लान ढूंढ रहे थे कि अब हम क्या करें, कि जब हमारे सारे बॉलर पांचों टॉप 5 बॉलर फ्लॉप हो गए, तब आपके पास क्या प्लान? क्या आपने उनको यॉर्कर्स के साथ परेशान किया? क्या आपने उनको बाउंसर्स के साथ परेशान करने की कोशिश की? क्या आपने स्लोअर डिलीवरी का ट्राई किया? दूसरी तरफ पे आप देखिए ना, दूसरे स्पिनर्स ने कैसी बॉल डाली। जिस डिलीवरी पे रवि बिश्नोई ने विकेट लिया था, वो बहुत तेज डिलीवरी थी। मेरे को लगता है मैं शायद कुंबले को इतना तेज लेग स्पिन डालते हुए देखा है। तो यहाँ पे वरुण चक्रवर्ती ने
रीमा जी, जब बिश्ना डाला था, मैं सोच रहा था आपका मेरा डिस्कशन, बट वो जो उन्होंने तेज डाला, लेग स्टंप का बाहर छक्का खाया, फिर अगला बॉल बिलिंग्स को धीमा डाला, वो स्टंप हो गया। वो मैं आप और हम हमेशा इसमें बात करते हैं कि हाउ यू कैन लैक ऑफ पेस इज समटाइम्स अ ह्यूज वेपन फॉर अ स्पिनर। चहल इज द मास्टर फॉर मी, ही इज द मास्टर फॉर मी। And as a batter, I always want my spinners to bowl quickly, because that way it's coming onto the bat even more. And I hate the guys who slow it up for me and then have to worry about the dip and the drift and the turn, everything else that comes with it. Yeah, please.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। मेरे को भी लगता है वो जो फास्टर डिलीवरी डाली थी ना, उसके बाद उनको विकेट मिला था, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो बैटर के माइंड पे भी होता है कि बैट पे बॉल फेंक रहे हैं, ऑल ऑफ ए सडन आप चेंज ऑफ पेस करते हैं, और यही तो एक्स फैक्टर लेके आता है, आपको अलग बनाता है बाकी स्पिनर से। लेकिन रवि बिश्नोई को काफी काम करने का होगा, जितना स्लोअर डिलीवरी वो डालना सीखेंगे, उतना उनका सक्सेस रेट बढ़ेगा। लेकिन आज मुझे लगता है कि आज ना सिर्फ खुश होके LSG की बैटिंग देखिए या फिर KKR की भी बैटिंग देखिए, उन्होंने दिल जरूर जीता है। रिंकू सिंह ने जो इनिंग खेली आज, वाह! मैंने उनको रणजी ट्रॉफी में खेलते हुए देखा है, वो ताबड़तोड़ खेलते हैं। पीयूष चावला भी कई बार उनके बारे में बता चुके हैं कि वो उनका खेलने का स्टाइल ही है, लेकिन इस बार खास क्या था कि उनको प्लेइंग में जगह मिली और प्लेइंग में जगह मिली तो उन्होंने सर्वाइवल नहीं खेला, उन्होंने अपनी गेम को बैक किया और आज देखिए मतलब ऐसा लग रहा था कि वो गेम लेके चले गए अपने हाथ में। वो जो कैच इवन लुइस ने पकड़ा था, वो गेम चेंजिंग मोमेंट था। अगर वो कैच ना होता, तो वो मैच भी ना होता एलएसजी के पास, वो केकेआर का मैच था। जिस जिस तरीके से स्पेशली रिंकू सिंह बैटिंग करते और सामने नारायण खड़े।
Ji, bilkul. And now coming to KKR's batting, well, the only merry-making point for KKR in their otherwise woeful match tonight. Devashish sir, I would request you to enlighten us on KKR's batting performance today. They started off with, once again, Venkatesh Iyer faltering with his opening slot. KKR, rather, we would say, again faltering with their opening partnership. Abhijit Tomar, the debutant, not clicking with his fielding prowess, even with his batting, he did not click at all. Venkatesh Iyer, not at all, again looking his sublime touch, the previous edition of the second half as he was. But after that, the owners which the remainder of KKR's batting lineup took up, how would you describe KKR's mindset at that crucial juncture when those two wickets quickly fell?
I think what might be the discussion in the break was that just to be chasing 211, all you have to do is to go out there and taunt from ball one, and that is what has happened. The batters, they played freely because they had nothing to lose really. See, if you look at the KKR batting, starting from Nitish Rana, Sam Billings, Rinku Singh, Shreyas Iyer, everyone batted with a positive intent. They were just daredevilry batting, I would say, to put it rightly, because they had nothing to lose. When you chase such a daunting total, all you have to go out there is there's no room for wasting the balls or playing your time out. You have to go out there and hit right from the word go, and that is what happened with KKR. Disappointing that Russell did not fire tonight, because had Russell played those cameo of 15 balls 30 or a 20 balls 40, then things would have been different. But hats off to Rinku Singh to have taken KKR so far with Sunil Narine. That was terrific effort from Rinku, and perhaps KKR might be ruining the fact that they have done so many mistakes throughout the season, right from the start. They have initial phase, they did not have had the best playing 11, chopping and changing, too many opening combinations, at least five if I'm not wrong. So they must be doing, because couple of seasons back also KKR missed just by a whisker. They just failed to make it to the playoffs just by a whisker. It was another season. It was kind of another season this season as well. So they might be scratching their heads that they did not make it to the playoffs. They looked good in the last three matches, but that's what cricket is all about.
Absolutely right, sir. Joydeep, sir, elaborating a bit on what Devashish sir just now highlighted, KKR were, we could say, brilliant with their batting as well, because they fought right till the end. Apart from Venkatesh Iyer and Abhijit Tomar, there was that Rana Iyer partnership, then Iyer Billings partnership. Unfortunately, Russell could not click, otherwise, it could have possibly been KKR's match. How good would you say at the end was Sunil Narayan, and specifically the man at the moment, Rinku Singh? And Rinku Singh has time and again, be it his fielding, be it his mindset, and today with his batting, of course, like literally, there was a point where KKR fans felt, well, maybe there's some hope. How good was that partnership between Narayan and Rinku Singh individually?
Yeah, I think today KKR's batting has not been good for the season. They were really good today, but again, it's just one day, so they haven't batted consistently well. They've bowled consistently well. If they had batted consistently well, they wouldn't have been where they are. They would have been much higher up. KKR is a decent side because they won the IPL twice. They were runner-up last year, but this year in the auction they were not as strong as they normally are. I thought they should have retained Rahul Tripathi under any cost because that's how good he is. It's their bonus that Umesh Yadav has had the season that he has, because he's really not an IPL hero in the true sense of that he's more of a red ball bowler. He hasn't had this sort of season in the IPL ever. It's his best season. So that came out of the blue. I think Varun dropped in the middle wasn't right, because you got to back your people you've retained, you got to back them. So to answer your question, when you chase that many, such a big total, a target is given. First 6 over 70. So you could lose a couple of wickets. So I can see where Venkatesh Iyer and Tomar lost their wickets, because that's the target that's given to you. Because there's no point being 40 for no loss after 6, because then you're even further back in the game. You go with the aggressive intention. If you make it, fine. If you don't make it, somebody else does. And KKR almost made it, because nobody played for themselves today. Everybody went and tried a hand, and whoever got in, they came so close. If you here play for yourself, or you play for your own runs, then the others come, instead of the required rate being 10.8, it's 14. Somebody else comes, is 16. So it's beyond you then. But 10 is still chaseable. So which is why I felt that KKR approached this game really well. And what a brilliant wicket to play cricket on. I know it's the last game here. What a superb wicket. Even at the end, you could hardly see any scratch marks in the 40th over of the game. That's how good. When you're hitting balls which are not really that full up over covers, through the line, then there is bounce and pace both on the wicket. It's coming onto the bat. So it's good to see. Yeah, Rinku has been superb. See, like Rimaji says, domestic kingpin, averages in the 60s in first class cricket. There are not too many people who average in the 60s. There are a lot of who do in the 50s, 40s, but not in the 60s. And UP is the man. He bats at 5-6, whether it's 1 day, T20, 4 day, he is the man. And they've qualified for the Ranji quarterfinals, so they've had a good season. And he's one of the stalwarts in their team. And he's been in KKR for a while, before he didn't make use of his chances. In 2018, when I was there, he was there. But now I think he's more of a complete cricketer. He knows his role. He knows what to do. He knows how to score runs. So that has been really good to see. And I think his best is yet to come. KKR have found him as a number 5-6 player in the coming season. They have some holes, but one hole has been plugged.
Very true. And well, it hurts a lot that after such a brilliant fight, you end up losing the match by a paltry 2 runs, so near and yet so far. But all credits to Rinku Singh for that brilliant fight till the end, and to Sunil Narayan for that support. Yes, sir? Okay. Nishant sir, I'll come to you with Lucknow Super Giants' bowling. As again, this match didn't have much of the bowling departments from either side doing much. Lucknow Super Giants, except for Mohsin Khan, none of the bowlers seemed very fruitful, because we could see that Kolkata Knight Riders' batters were right from the beginning. After those 2 wickets fell, the run rate they kept always higher if compared. From Lucknow Super Giants, they always kept the run rate higher. Nitish and Iyer, for starters, seemed to be very confidently striking the bowlers. So only Mohsin Khan stood out for them. How would you differentiate Mohsin Khan's approach from his teammates in facing KKR's batting tray?
I think if you look at this entire tournament, this has been a tournament where young pacers have impressed the most. And if it was Umran yesterday, it was Mohsin today. And look at the way they have bowled in pressure situations. And I think on a wicket like this, like Joyda has been saying, that till the last ball, you could not see uh, even a scratch mark on the wicket. It was that kind of a wicket. So on that wicket, you need to have certain amount of skills, slower balls, off cutters, changing your pace. All kind of variations have to come into play to deceive the batsman. But now, when Lucknow Super Giants have crossed that hurdle and they are fully sure of playing the playoffs now, this is one area where they will like to work upon. This is one area, because if that catch was not taken, I think KKR would have won the game, because it was just one of those greatest catches you see. Like, even if when he dived, his elbow touched the ground, and more often than not in those conditions, ball comes out of your hand. So it was like LSG was destined to win today, and that's why they won. But these kind of things will not happen very often, and bowling department still needs to work upon. and probably the kind of bowling attack they picked up today with Gautam, Bishnoi, they thought that they will have some assistance from spinners. There will be some assistance for spinners on the wicket, but that was also not there. So, like when we were talking about, I think both the teams' bowling department uh, looked like that they were, they lacked the ideas to bowl on a wicket, which was very good for batting.
Nishant, you feel that LSG missed Chamira today? Because I felt that all the way.
Yes, absolutely. I have no doubts about it. He is a very, very, that especially on a wicket like this, we need bowlers who have variety, who can think like you, who see the surface and know that only bowling lengths will not work here. Then you have to think out of the box. It's like a game of chess. Batsman already has an advantage on a wicket like this.
True.
So then you have to outthink your batter. Like, okay, if I bowl 2 dot balls, this batsman will try to play the pressure releasing shot. When he will play
True.
the pressure releasing shot, I will bowl this delivery.
Nishant,
And
great point. On this, there are some fast bowlers who bowl the slower ball. So fast ball is 137, slow ball is 127. But because of the pitch, that 127 becomes 122 because it's crumbling and it's not coming onto the bat. But that was not happening today.
Yeah.
So you need somebody who can bowl 137 and 117, which is a Harshal Patel skill, which is a Lasith Malinga skill. 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers slower with the same action. So that is where Chamira, I thought, with the new ball is fantastic. At the end, the Yorkers, it must be a niggle. I can't imagine Chamira in this IPL drop from any team. Any team would want to have him the way he's there.
Absolutely. And I think it was like that kind of a wicket. Rima ji and Joyda would agree that वो जैसे एक cement wicket नहीं होता,
Cement.
ये वैसा wicket था. अब ऐसे wicket पे आपको like you very rightly said कि अगर बॉल को थोड़ा सा भी ग्रिप मिलने लग जाता है ना विकेट से, so that जो एक 0.1 सेकंड बॉल लेट आता है ना आपके बैट के पास,
God bless you.
हाँ, तो वो जो 0.1 सेकंड लेट आता है ना, that is where maximum damage is done. But आज वो नहीं हो रहा था. So bowlers had to like roll their fingers on it, ball cross seam, like we don't know, poor guys, they are always under pressure. But on this wicket, I think both the teams lacked the idea to create pressure. And to create pressure, you have to take wickets. And that didn't happen.
True.
Well, thoughts from our distinguished guests on today's match number 66, Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Lucknow Super Giants. Unfortunate for Kolkata that this is the end for their IPL journey, and Lucknow sitting pretty in the second position, finally sealing off their playoff spot. Let's just hope Kolkata Knight Riders bounces back next season.
Rimaji smiling with Lucknow.
Rima ma'am is all smiles.
मैं आज इसलिए भी खुश हूँ कि केकेआर बहुत अच्छा खेला.
आज मजा
अच्छा मैच
देख के मजा आ गया मैच देख के.
बहुत बीच में तो ऐसा होता है 3-4 ओवर
बहुत मजा आया.
जैसे ही वो 200 रन बने थे ना, मैंने कहा खत्म हो गया मैच. बट इट इज वन ऑफ दोस रेयर.
उसके बाद 10 पे 2.
हाँ, मैं कहा लो जी खत्म हो गया.
बस मैंने 3-4 ओवर उसके बाद मैच नहीं देखा, लेकिन उसके बाद जो मैच देखने का मजा आया ना, मैं लास्ट तक नहीं होती. मैं लेकिन एक बात मैं मौशीन खान की बोलना चाहूंगी. वो जो स्लोअर डिलीवरी की बात करते थे निशांत और जयदीप, वो नजर आई सिर्फ मौशीन खान के पास.
एग्जैक्टली.
आपने सेम आर्म रोटेशन के साथ, सेम पेस का जो आपने कोई काम के साथ वो स्लोअर वन जो डाला ना, वो डिसीव करता है बैटर्स को. वो बाकी बॉलर्स में नजर नहीं आया. मैं भी चमेरा होते तो शायद नजर आता, लेकिन
एंड जी he also works with the angle so well. वो दूर वाला दे देते हैं जब बैट का एकदम नीचे लगता है. He doesn't get under the ball. Very thinking bowler. Obviously you can make out. और एक तो thinking होता है, दूसरा होता है under the gun वो skill करने का जो क्षमता होता है. The ability to bowl under pressure. Whatever you've done in the nets 200 times, but वो इस ball पे डालना पड़ेगा. We've all been there. We know how tough that is.
आज देवशी सर सैड लग रही थी.
He's very sad that he picked KKR and KKR lost.
मेरे को लगता है केकेआर के फैंस को आज खुश होना चाहिए. पूरे एंटायर टूर्नामेंट में आज अच्छा खेले.
बेस्ट मैच.
जब खेलना चाहिए था तब नहीं खेला, अब जाके खेल रही है.
ठीक है दामिनी, लास्ट ईयर
चिड़िया चुप गई.
बात है तो बता दी नहीं है.
दामिनी लास्ट टाइम रनर अप हुआ है,
हाँ।
बाकी को भी थोड़ा आने दो प्लेऑफ्स में। ये सब
हाँ।
है, कोई सपोर्टर्स कभी आए नहीं, कभी जीते नहीं।
हाँ 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 हाँ, अपने पास तो दो है, एक रनर्स अप का
दो
भी
नहीं,
ट्रॉफी है।
ढाई है।
हाँ 2.5 है। और कितनी बार तो प्लेऑफ्स में भी क्वालिफाई कर चुके हैं, कुछ लोग
जी।
तो तरस रहे हैं। चलिए,
और
नाउ
आप ये
लेट्स टॉक
देखो,
अबाउट द
आप जिनको तरसने के लिए बोल रहे हैं वो पहले सीजन में प्लेऑफ में है। इस स्ट्राइक रेट पे भी गौर कीजिए
नहीं,
मैडम।
हम थोड़ा आरसीबी की तरफ बोल रहे थे, बिकॉज रीमा जी और वेदा जी आर एब्सोल्युटली हमें डे वन से आरसीबी के लिए बोल रहे थे। मैं बोल रहा था आरसीबी तो जब से आईपीएल शुरू हुआ तब से है, तो हम लोग का थोड़ा आरसीबी केकेआर बैटल चलता रहता है।
अच्छा,
लेकिन देख लो, तीनों टीमें जो पहले बाहर हुई है ना, सब टाइटल विनर्स थी। आरसीबी एक भी नहीं जीती, लेकिन अभी भी अलाइव है इस टूर्नामेंट में।
हाँ, सो चैंपियंस के लिए एक सीजन माफ है। चैंपियन टीम्स जो होती है ना, इतनी बार जीतने की थक जाती है ना, हमेशा जीत के थक जाती है।
कौन सी टीम है जो 15 साल से कंसिस्टेंट है?
आई थिंक चैंपियंस टीम ने इस बार जो नई टीमें आई है ना, उनको कंफर्टेबल फील कराने के लिए लाइक दे हैव प्लेड अ परफेक्ट होस्ट, कि आप आए हैं हमारे घर में नए मेहमान, आप आइए आराम से प्लेऑफ खेलिए, हम लोग इस साल थोड़ा सा आराम से
Okay,
Spectators.
if you had to pick a winner today, who would you? I know it's far away. Who would you pick? Your winner for the IPL.
नेहरा जी।
Okay. Devashish,
गुजरात टाइटंस।
Rima ji,
अब गई। I will change my team now because Debu has picked Gujarat Titans. Now I will change. I will come back tomorrow now.
Rima ji, RCB,
लखनऊ।
Chalo.
दादा,
I also go towards Gujarat. I think they're very strong. But
Okay,
far away.
let's talk about
let's talk about tomorrow. Yeah, let's
Yes,
talk about tomorrow.
हाँ, let's talk about that very important game coming up tomorrow. Match number 67, RCB versus Gujarat Titans.
Oh.
That's why Gujarat Titans already sitting
Gujarat
handsomely in the playoffs.
I'm picking Gujarat before anybody.
Okay, of course. And RCB
Rima ji,
still
RCB,
now
आगे-
wanting
आगे
to.
बोलो।
Yes, sir.
आरसीबी क्यों? मैं
RCB?
गुजरात टाइटंस के साथ हूँ हमेशा।
नहीं, आप वेदा को छोड़ देंगे?
चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स, गुजरात टाइटंस, आरसीबी, कितना टीम्स को सपोर्ट करता है?
आईपीएल में अपॉर्चुनिटी क्या मिलती है आपको डिफरेंट टीम को
कितना
डिफरेंट डेज पे
टीम्स
सपोर्ट करने की?
को हैव लॉयल्टी टू वन टीम।
जॉयदीप से कौन बोल रहा है? देखना, जब फर्स्ट हाफ
कितना
में टी-शर्ट चेंज कर लेते
10
हैं।
में से 4 टीम को सपोर्ट करता है।
फर्स्ट इनिंग के बाद 20 ओवर के बाद जो इनिंग टी-शर्ट चेंज करते हैं, आप वो बोल रहे हैं।
देवाशीष सर, देवाशीष सर, आप तो सपोर्ट की बात मत कीजिए। जिस टीम को आप सपोर्ट करते हैं उसकी उल्टी टीम जीतती है। आप तो बात मत कीजिए सपोर्ट की।
तो मतलब कहने का मतलब ये है कि जो टी शर्ट भेजेगा आप उसको सपोर्ट करोगे?
अरे ये तो दैट
फर्स्ट
भेजता है
हाफ तक,
कितना।
सिर्फ फर्स्ट हाफ तक।
we should respect the
Debu-
guy who is sending me the
Debu,
t-shirt.
first we should support
नहीं, नहीं।
cricket. First we should
अरे-
support cricket. Everything
Nishan,
comes later.
I am always a supporter of Indian team. I am always and forever will remain a supporter of Indian
No,
team.
this is an exhibition of the best of Indian cricket talent. Support everyone. कहीं
मतलब आप
अय्यर
चाहते
खेल
हो,
रहा
मतलब
है,
आप
कहीं
चाहते हो
विराट खेल रहा
10 में
है,
से 10 टीम को सपोर्ट
कहीं
करें।
रोहित खेल रहा है, सबको सपोर्ट करो ना। इंडियन
नहीं,
क्रिकेट के
मैंने
बच्चे हैं
मुंबई
ये।
को सपोर्ट नहीं किया।
Umpires out. Good night, the umpires out.
I am going for RCB because I want RCB.
हाँ, prediction time. Nishant sir, आप you say it again.
One word prediction
RCB,
for
अच्छा।
the time to
RCB.
गुजरात टाइटंस।
देवाशीष सर,
निशान ने आरसीबी को सपोर्ट किया तो मुझे गुजरात टाइटंस को सपोर्ट करना है।
टी-शर्ट भी
I'm
है।
going
सोच
with
समझ
Gujarat
के नाम लीजिए, क्योंकि आप जिसका नाम लेते हैं उसकी उल्टी
अरे,
टीम जीतती है। सोच समझ के नाम लीजिए।
मेरे पास गुजरात टाइटंस का जर्सी है, किसी और टीम का नहीं है।
अले,
फाइनल में मत पहनना, वो नहीं बोलेगा। सेमीफाइनल तो ठीक है, फाइनल में मत पहनना।
अगर लोगों को पता चल गया ना कि आप जिसको सपोर्ट करते हो वो टीम हार जाती है, वो घर आके टी शर्ट ले जाएंगे, अलमारी खोल के ले जाएंगे।
सर केकेआर के खेलते हुए ना, आज का मैच छोड़िए, पिछले 2 मैचों में आपको पता है ना क्या हुआ था आपके साथ।
कुछ बातें करती हैं, छोड़ दे, सोना नहीं है।
देवाशीष,
अब आप सच में रीवा मैम और जयदीप सर, आप अपने प्रेडिक्शंस बता दीजिए और चलिए अब
गुजरात
इसको
टाइटंस,
end
one word
मैं तो
बताओ,
गुजरात बोल
गुजरात
दिया।
टाइटंस।
अच्छा
गुजरात
अच्छा।
आवा दे।
आरसीबी, अब आप लोग जाके इसको, मैं बच्चों को स्कूल से लेके आता हूँ, ठीक है ना?
So 1:3.
Bye bye.
So this was match number 66. Let's meet tomorrow for match 67. Until then, good night and thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.